welcome to another Chelsea chat. Yesterday it was Newcastle United 4, Chelsea 1. It was my first live game of the season, and I had the misfortune to be in corporate and surrounded by gloating Geordies. Happy days, although I must say the corporate hospitality at St.James Park is second to none. The game, awful. Absolutely awful. And I was looking at social media late last night, early this morning, and people were saying how good we were in the first half. And it was weird because I didn't think we were. The high tempo, the cutting down of space that I saw against both Tottenham and Manchester City, I didn't think was there. I think it was more an attitude problem than anything else. I mean, we've said all year, that Chelsea struggle against low blocks. But yesterday they were totally flummoxed because what Newcastle did, they didn't low block, but what they did, they defended well. They're well marshalled. They get back quick, so you've got a block, and they get forward quick, and they're not scared to hit it long either. They aim for Gordon or Amaron. They get players forward really quick from midfield. We just couldn't cope with it. It's not just a low block we struggle with. It's people that are well drilled and can get their midfield forward quick. It's Poch has got a lot more work to do than I thought, and I thought he had a lot of work to do. But I think attitude is the main thing. But yeah, we really struggled like that. But then looking at the side, we had Sanchez in goal. We had Reece James at right back. Just inside of him, we had Thiago Silva at centre back. Then we had Badiashile playing his first league game. At left back, we had Cucurella. We'd rested a load. Colwill and Caicedo and just loads, maybe because of the international break. In front of that back four, we had Enzo and we had Ukachokwa. You know what I mean. And in front of them, we had Sterling, Gallagher and Palmer. And up front, allegedly, we had Nicholas Jackson. And I just thought we lacked passion from the word go. A bit of poor marking allowed them to go ahead. And then we got a corker of a free kick. Sterling, absolutely brilliant free kick. And it made me even more confused when a few minutes later we got another free kick and Sterling didn't take it from almost exactly the same position, and Reece James skyrocketed it, probably still flying up somewhere in the Newcastle sky. I just didn't understand that at all. I just don't get that. Hugo Chukwa, 19-year-old lad. I'm not going to come down on him too hard, but he's got a lot to learn about the Premier League, and he's no replacement right at this minute, in my humble opinion, based on yesterday's game, for Caicedo. Gave the ball away too often, won some good ball, don't get me wrong, he looks a player, but he just looks lacking in experience, and people are saying, oh yeah, anyway you get experience, which is fine. But if you're 2 or 3-0 up, bring him on. Let him get that experience then. Maybe if you're 4-1 down, bring him on. So he gets the experience on being on the tough end of a hiding. But yesterday he was lacking. I'm not picking him out. I'm just saying a few things that I noticed. Badiashile as well. Not at fault for one of the goals, but his marking wasn't what it was. He was decent in the first half. Got caught out of position a load, and I'm going to give him a break because he's hardly played. He's just coming back from injury, but it was a contributory factor. And Silva was trying to cover for him. You could see that he was trying to second guess what was going to do. You had Reece James on the right, who either isn't fit or is still carrying a bit of an injury, because I tell you, he looked like he was running in mud. That Anthony Gordon ripped him a new bumhole. Absolutely ripped him. Enzo did all right in the first half and faded, probably because he's being played too much and he's playing for his country and he's travelling. He must be absolutely cream crackered. I know Poch hasn't got all that many choices, but I would have rested him. Just come out of that absolute nightmare Argentina Brazil game as well, hadn't they? Connor wasn't at the races yesterday. Plenty of effort, but I think he needs a unit around him that's in the same mindset, or he loses the will to live, probably. He loses his enthusiasm early when he can see that he's chasing, cutting space down, and no one else is. I think Cole Palmer had read too much of the adulation he was getting because he might as well not been there yesterday. And when he was there, he was trying stuff that wasn't coming off, back flicks that went straight to their players, getting caught with a ball. You could see the frustration growing in him. Nicholas Jackson, centre forward Nicholas Jackson, spent more time on the halfway line than he did in their box. Coming to find the ball, you don't get your Haalands doing that. Didn't used to get your Drogba doing that much. It's all right occasionally, but at 1-1, I like to see my centre forward in the box. Now, Pope pulled off a brilliant save from Enzo. World class goalkeeper, I think. He's the one that I would like to have signed. But yeah, you've got to beat him. We didn't really test him an awful lot because we weren't at the races. We were awful. The reason this is so late is because I watched it on telly. You know, I watched the recording of it this morning because I was reading how good we were in that first half, and no, we weren't. They were worse in that first half. We were edging possession. I think must have been very close though. There were two poor sides on that pitch in the first half. One improved a bit in the second half when Thiago Silva made an awful blunder and we didn't mark. Times we had the chance to shoot. I remember one in the first half. Jackson should have volleyed it, tried for safety and lost the ball. We were just lacking in everything, creativity. But worst of all, what really got me was lack of passion, lack of effort. And I don't care what anyone says, and I know I'm going to get criticised for slating them, but I didn't see that yesterday. I think if we'd had the same effort, the same mentality as we had against Tottenham and City, we'd have come away with something yesterday. Because they're not great because they've got 11 players out. 11 players injured. You know, we've been like that at times, and you've seen how poor we are. Well, that's they were there for the taking. That's the most annoying thing. We lost 4-1 to a team that was there for the taking. I can't say anymore. I'm just going to score the players. It's going to be. I can't say anymore. We were just not at the races. I was so disappointed in that team yesterday. And afterwards, of course, people like Cucurella just going straight down the tunnel without going over to the fans, just sort of put the tin out on it. That just summed it up. All right, fair enough. He probably disappointed because he was absolutely pony and trap yesterday, but just ignoring fans, that's disgusting. That's what that is, disgusting. So well done, Mark. You've certainly endeared yourself to a lot of people there. And he weren't the only one, by the way. And well done to Armando Broja going over and clapping the fans for their efforts. And to a lesser extent, Thiago, who sort of come over a little bit, and Connor, who come over a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, I digress. That's the modern day player, I guess. So, Sanchez in goal. I tell you what, there's that old saying, isn't it? You know, was he a vampire because he's scared of crosses? He was awful on crosses. The distribution was okay. Didn't really stand much chance with the goals. But that flapping at those crosses like that, he gets a 5. Reece James yesterday, he's getting absolute pelters. I don't think he's a captain. Not great vocally. Doesn't really spur anyone. Remember Terry If we were 2-1 down and made a mistake, he'd be barking at people. That's not Reece. And that's not a criticism of Reece. He's obviously not match fit. He's okay going forward, but he can't get back. And then that bit of petulance. You know, the first one, fair enough, he just threw the ball away, 3 or 4 yards, which most players do. Loads of Newcastle players did it yesterday but didn't get booked for it. He did. But having been booked for that bit of stupidity, why pull that Gordon? I mean, don't get me wrong, the Newcastle lad, he made so much of it, it was hardly a touch. The referee a proper referee who had played the game would have seen that, but we didn't. We had another numpty. And so he got a red card. But it's still stupid. That's not leading by example. People say, why isn't Thiago Silva captain? Because he didn't want to be. Because he went to Pochettino and said, don't make me a captain. Get one of the young lads ready for when I've gone. How many times have people got to be told that? Need a big blackboard with Thiago didn't want to be captain written on it. For the harder thinking on that social media. Anyway, Reece gets a 3. He got ripped apart. Don't think his attitude was spot on yesterday, and stupidity. Any chance of getting back in that game was gone. He said sorry, and I accept that. You know, he's a young lad and he's learning, but he's an international footballer who's played in a Champions League winning side. How long does the learning process take? I don't know. What's he now, 24? Well, let's hope he's learned by the time he's 30, eh? Inside him, Thiago Silva had his worst game in a Chelsea shirt. He gets a 3. Next to him, Badia Shield was doing okay in the first half. At least he was getting stuck in. At least he was winning headers. At least he was passing to a blue shirt. 4.5. Cucurella, back to the old Cucurella, running round like a headless chicken. No vision, no football IQ, holding in the area. We're going to concede more penalties when he's doing that. A couple of times got forward, looked up, played it back. 3. In front of them, Enzo, done all right in the first half, faded badly, he gets a 6. Obviously, cream crackered, needs a rest. Next to him, Hugo Chakwa, he gets a 6. The lad put a real shift in, loads of effort, gave the ball away a lot, gave away a couple of needless free kicks in dangerous positions. He's a young man learning the game, not going to go too hard on him. In front of them, Sterling gets a 4.5. I'll tell you what, Trippier had him in his pocket. It was embarrassing to watch. And he's been playing great lately, hasn't he? But yesterday, nah. Don't know if it's because Trippier seen him in the England squad so many times that he knows what he's going to do. But awful. Gallagher gets a 5. Loads of effort, which waned. I think he was looking around him and thought, I'm the only bugger here doing any work. It's like you'd be on a production line, isn't it? You're going 10 to the dozen. Matey boy there's just standing nagging. You think, oh, sod it. Let it go through, it'll fall off the end. That's what I think happened to Gallagher yesterday. Not the same player as we've seen this season, not at all. Cole Palmer gets a 3. I don't know what he was doing. Honestly, don't know what he was doing. That weren't the same player we've seen this season. Tippy-tappy little stuff, back heels. It looked more like a ballet dancing lesson than a football performance. 3. Nicholas Jackson doesn't shoot when he gets an opportunity. Doesn't look up. Loads of running. And for that running, he gets a 4. Not going to score the substitutes. Poch, at least, well, the coaching staff Poch was up in the stands, wasn't he? But at least the coaching staff tried to mix things up. They get a 5. Because whoever put that game plan in place, whoever picked that team, and whoever motivated them, they want to have a real good look in the mirror. So that's me. Apart from that, everything in the garden's rosy. Sorry to be so down, folks, but That's so disappointing after a good run of form. Let me know what you think. That's why I do these. Please subscribe to the channel and throw the video a like if you're into depression. And I shall speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Up to Chelsea.